everybody? My name is Roy Nemer. You're Wrestleview.com SmackDown recapper. This is SmackDown Post Show number 9. We're 1 week away from WrestleMania, exactly 7 days away from WrestleMania. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. I see a couple of people in the chat. Hello to Quinton. Hello to Grash. Hello to Andrew. Hello to everyone watching us. If you're watching us, if you're joining us live, hello. If you're watching us on repeat on YouTube, hello. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We had a good one. We had a good one tonight. It was quite enjoyable for several reasons, and it was just very, very fun. You know, WrestleMania season. We're really feeling it. Like I said, just a couple of days before the big show, and let's get into it. But before we do, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We're here 3 times a week, bare minimum. So we have the Tedescos, which do the Raw post show on Mondays. I'm here on Fridays, and we have Wrestleview Weekly, with Doug as well. So hello everyone, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and hello Gills fan. I see Gills fan in the chat as well. So hello Gills fan, hope you're well. And let's get to it, guys. Let's just get to the show, right? First up, we had Edge, right? So we start off with the video package from last week. Adam Pearce's announcement about WrestleMania, the triple threat match, Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defending against Edge against Daniel Bryan. Out comes Edge, and Edge, just as he always does, cuts a stellar promo, right? He builds himself up, and about how he's the ultimate opportunist. It's not Daniel Bryan. He allowed Daniel Bryan to get involved in the match at WrestleMania, get himself included, and that's his fault. He took his eye off the ball. Just a very, very good promo by Edge, and it was relatively short. It didn't drag on for very long. There was no Daniel Bryan that came out, no Adam Pearce, no Paul Heyman, no Roman Reigns, no Jey Uso. It was strictly just Edge there cutting the promo, and it was honestly, I very much enjoyed it. We talk about this every single time whenever Edge cuts a promo, whether solo or with anyone else. There's so many people in the locker room, be it on Raw or SmackDown or NXT or just any wrestler really in the business. Just watch Edge's promo, watch his facial expressions, watch his delivery, watch his timing, everything, right? It's spot on. I very, very much enjoyed it. He talks about how, thanks to Daniel Bryan, he had a lot of time to reflect the past couple of days, and now he finally sees the rated R superstar when he looks in the mirror. And, it was just a very good opening promo. It wasn't a match this week to kick off the show. It was Edge. Taking a look at my thoughts right here. So Edge with a promo to get you hyped for WrestleMania. Nothing new to say about him, right? Many in the WWE locker room can learn from watching him on the microphone. That's what I thought about the opening segment. What did you guys think? I'm going to take a look at the chat really quickly as well. We have Mike. Oh my, we have a celebrity in the house, Mr. Mike Tedesco. The living legend himself. So Mike, as I mentioned earlier, the Tedescos, right? So Mike and his lovely wife Victoria cover the Raw post show. Mike covers Raw itself. So hey Mike, thanks for being here. Mashoon is in the house as well, and Andrew, right? Like, share, subscribe. Quentin will sing the New Zealand national anthem. Jesus, I don't think I've ever heard of it. I should probably watch rugby a little bit more often. So what did you guys think of the opening promo? It's gotta be better than what we get on Raw, right? Or I hope so. Sorry, Mike, I know you kind of go through that. But let me know what you guys thought about the opening promo. I'm taking a look right here. So Gills fan says, since they were piping in cheers for Edge, I guess he's a tweener. It's difficult to tell with them, right? I remember having this discussion with you guys last week. Is Edge a tweener, right? Is he a babyface? Is he a heel? What is he? And it looks like we're getting all 3. So Daniel Bryan's babyface, Roman's the heel, Edge is in between. He's the tweener. Quentin says, Edge's best promo ever. It was so good. It really, really was solid. Just his facial expression. When you look at it, he'll look down at the mat, then he'll look up at the camera, and he'll deliver whatever it is he has to say. So good and so engaging. Very, very engaging. And, you could tell he's had, he's a veteran, right? He's been there enough years to know how to do it. Andrew says Edge always cuts a great promo. Mike, Edge is on creative, so he gets to write his own stuff. WWE should allow everyone to at least attempt that. And I agree. And I was thinking about that. Is it just the fact that Edge writes his own stuff that he's good at? Is it just everyone else not able to properly deliver? It's been a problem, right, for a couple of years. And I'm not saying everyone should get free reins as to what they should say or get to say on television, but definitely allow some people to get some of their stuff in, right? And my COVID vaccine side effects were less terrible than Raw. Ouch. Yes, if you guys missed it, so Mike got his second dose of vaccine, and he had to miss the second hour of Raw. And I remember him messaging me, and he's like, if you could obviously take over. And he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean this, because when I took over, it was Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton, and we all know how lovely that feud has been involving The Fiend as well. So, at least Mike is doing better. Hopefully, buddy. Best wishes to you. Quentin, Edge is a face with an attitude. Yeah, I could go with that, but sometimes you kind of get the feeling that he is a tweener sometimes. But we'll talk more about Edge at the end of the show, because there's something I want to talk about when he was on commentary, which I very, very much enjoyed. So going back to the show here, we get to the commercial break. Then we have Edge is backstage, and comes Kayla. And she says, well, you didn't really mention tonight's street fight between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso. And I'm sitting there thinking, why the hell hasn't WWE mentioned this? Nothing. I didn't see anything. Maybe I've been out of the loop, but they could have easily mentioned it on Raw or something. Anything. Started the show, hey guys, we have our main event tonight. Hype it up, something. Maybe I missed it. It could be I've been out of the loop. So, Edge cuts a promo, says, look, if Daniel Bryan's beaten senseless tonight, I have nothing against it, right? It could be a good thing for him, and he would even enjoy it. So that adds a little bit more to the bite or to the attitude that we've gotten from Edge the past couple of weeks. And then we're going to segue into our first match of the night, and Jesus. So the Alpha Academy are in the ring. Gable hypes Otis up, right, about how the past couple of months he's transformed him, into this force of nature and this and that and this and that. And then he mentioned something. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. I must have completely missed this. Because apparently we're getting the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships next week on SmackDown on a what they called a WrestleMania SmackDown special. In other words, we couldn't cram you into 2 nights of wrestling, Saturday and Sunday. Sorry you can't make the big show, but here you are, you're going to defend your tag team titles on next week's show, on next week's SmackDown. Clearly they don't care about the tag titles, right? I don't think they have for several years now. And that's what we're getting next week, right? We're getting the Alpha Academy, we're getting Dolph and Ziggler, we're getting the Street Profits, we're getting Rey and Dominic. It's just going to be a cluster of whatever it is you want to call it, of tag teams. This is... They could have done something maybe on the WrestleMania pre-show or anything, but, instead we're getting it on SmackDown next week. So, that leads us to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, along with the Alpha Academy versus Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and the Street Profits. So, 4-on-4 tag team match. Everyone got their shots in, whatnot. Dominic Mysterio, I don't believe, was ever tagged into the match. At one point, he took out Ziggler kind of over the top rope type of thing, but I don't recall him ever being tagged in, aside from like the very beginning where he just lands a tornado DDT on Ziggler. After that, he was just on the ring apron, kind of playing cheerleader. Anyways. So Otis gets the win, right, for his team. Just a big splash. Otis is a big guy, and he's agile, right? And we've spoken about Otis in the past, and I'm sure we're going to do so again right now in just a couple of moments. But Otis lands this massive splash on Ford. 1, 2, 3, gets the win. So going into next week, it's anyone's ballgame, right? No one knows what the hell they're doing with the tag team division on SmackDown. I don't even think Creative knows what the hell they're doing with the tag team division on SmackDown. So next week's match could go either way. I don't. In a way, I don't see at all actually Ziggler and Rude retaining, or I hope not. In a way, I don't necessarily see Ray and Dominic winning the belts. I don't think they're going to go back to the Street Profits just yet. And if they're planning on pushing the Alpha Academy, this is it. This is it. Again, we've spoken about it in the past, and let me know what you guys think, or what you guys thought about this match, and what you guys think of next week's match, or going into next week's match. But they broke up, again, Heavy Machinery, just to put Otis with another tag team, in another tag team, sorry, with Gable. So make of that what you will, right? Let's take a look at the chat right here. So Gills fan says Otis teaming with his best friend Dolph Ziggler again. Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. Apparently we're supposed to have short-term memory, right? And Gills fan, so in WWE's fantasy world, WrestleMania is 3 days this year, and this blows my mind because I saw the commercial during SmackDown, and to add to what you just said, Gills fan, so we're getting Raw on Monday. We're getting NXT TakeOver on Wednesday, NXT TakeOver on Thursday, WrestleMania SmackDown special on Friday, WrestleMania on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, Raw on Monday. We're getting 7 consecutive days of WWE television. Throw in there AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays, and you have, I can't even count, 20 plus hours of wrestling in 7 days. Is that correct? Am I saying that right? It's holy shit. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Andrew says we're also getting the Andre Battle Royal too. Yeah, that's coming up next week as well. Hey Jamel, Jamel's in the chat. How are you, Jamel? Hope you're well, buddy. I hope you enjoyed SmackDown. Thank you for joining us. Gills fan, I hope the Academy don't win. Them winning, but Heavy Machinery never winning the belts would be BS. Honestly, it's as if they want us to forget about Heavy Machinery, just that they ever existed. And if they plan on continuing with this maybe heelish or monster turn that they've done with Otis, putting the tag belts on him might not be the worst idea, Gills fan. I'm not saying I'm behind it. I'm not saying I agree with it. But at this point, anything, absolutely anything, has to be better than Rude and Ziggler. Right? We spoke about this last week. You guys helped me out. I think we did the math. Rude and Ziggler won the tag belts, was it, I think in January, and only defended it once ever since. And 3 pay-per-views have passed, if I'm not mistaken. So anyone's got to be better than them, right? Absolutely anyone. And to add to that, sorry to go back, so Gills fan corrected me. We're getting NXT the following Tuesday. So we're essentially getting 8 days of WWE television. 8 straight days. That's going to be something. We're going to need a lot of beverage, be it coffee or alcoholic beverage, whatever you drink, whatever is your poison, whatever's your taste, to get through that. So what do you guys think of that? Let me know in the chat. And this is what I thought about it. So actually, did I not tweet about it? So I probably didn't even tweet about this. But we got the Alpha Academy, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who got the win. Then we got Seth Rollins. And I'm going to try and get a picture of Rollins up tonight. But he was wearing this purple, almost pink, but I want to say purple or suit. And I made a joke about it. I said Seth Rollins looks like he could be in Prince's Purple Rain music video. Now I know he's truly, truly trolling us because his outfits lately have just been atrocious, absolutely atrocious. And at least now we know it's kind of on purpose, right? It's definitely kind of on purpose. And I'm gonna try and get you guys a GIF of this of Seth Rollins from earlier tonight. I'm just gonna go on here. So essentially, we got a pretty good one-on-one, face-to-face thing. And again, I just wish they would have mentioned this earlier or throughout the night or something or anything. But essentially, before the commercial break, we got Seth Rollins walking down to the ring. We come back from commercial break. Cesaro is in the ring. Corey Graves is in the ring. And Seth Rollins is in the ring. So, they could have just mentioned, hey, tonight we're getting some one-on-one thing involving Cesaro and Seth Rollins. That could have been cool. Could have been interesting. You could have hyped that matchup. Instead, we just kind of got what we got, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but anyway. So this is, I finally I was able to find this. So here it is. This is what Seth Rollins is wearing, and WWE tweeted suit game. This is rough. This is a rough look. Seriously, Purple Rain. Anyways, so enough of enough of his suit. Enough of his suit here. Andrew says, I wonder who his tailor is. And Gills fan says, I actually liked the Seth segment. I did as well. I enjoyed the Seth Rollins segment. I tweeted it as well. We'll take a look at it. So it was a really cool promo. It wasn't too long. It wasn't, thankfully, like a contract signing where you just knew some table was gonna get flipped or anything like that. Graves in there, and essentially, the whole thing was you have Mr. WrestleMania and Seth Rollins versus the inexperienced, in a singles match anyways, at WrestleMania, that is Cesaro, right? And Seth kind of goes through his list of accomplishments, how he's unshakable, you can't shake me, you can't get under my skin, I faced Triple H, I slayed the beast Brock Lesnar, the heist of the century, right, when he cashed in, winning the WWE title a couple of years back. So, and it made me realize, like, holy shit, Seth has actually gotten some pretty big WrestleMania moments throughout the years. And Corey says, look, no one's questioning your WrestleMania moments, and then he turns to Cesaro and he says, but the pressure is on you, Cesaro, right? And he asks Cesaro, do you have what it takes to get that belt off of Seth? And Cesaro tells him something along the lines of, I wouldn't be here if I didn't know I could beat Seth at WrestleMania. He knows he could embarrass Seth at WrestleMania. You may be unshakable, but you're not unswingable, right? And that was a pretty cool play on words by Cesaro there. And what I liked about this was, Cesaro wasn't necessarily the best guy on the mic. Seth can be quite, let's say, annoying on the mic. So we kind of got a blend. We got a bit of both. Cesaro got some exposure. Seth didn't take it too far. So it was a good segment overall. Like, I honestly quite enjoyed it. And something I actually did not fully understand was the whole thing where Seth says, "Well, I'm not gonna wait till WrestleMania. I'm not gonna wait till WrestleMania." Well, all right. He goes one-on-one with Cesaro and then he backs off. So it's kind of like, I get he's a heel. I get all that and stuff like that. But it's just, it kind of didn't really make much sense. So I'm gonna take a little sip of this. This is coffee, right? Take a sip of this. I'm gonna take a look at the chat and see what you guys thought of that. Sorry, I had a piece of paper kind of covering the the webcam there. So taking a look at the chat, Gills fan says, I don't get why the heel announcer was taking shots at Seth during this. Surely Kayla would have been better for this. Yeah, I get what you mean, Gills fan. I get what you mean. It's I guess they're trying to get everyone some exposure. Andrew, Graves was weird in that role. He was kind of awkward. He was there, and every time he tried to talk, Seth would interrupt. And again, I get it. Seth's the heel, right? And he played his role really well. So I'm not hating on Seth. I'm not hating on Corey or anyone in this segment because I thought it was pretty well made. But let's say Corey kind of felt, oddly enough, kind of out of place, so to speak, for lack of a better term. And Gills fan says, is Cesaro the first wrestler to actually mention that it's WrestleMania 37? I think so. I haven't heard anyone mention what WrestleMania we're at in years. And I was actually looking at this a couple of days ago. I had no clue what WrestleMania we were on. I couldn't remember, were we 35, 36, 37? Were we actually at 38? I couldn't remember. I really couldn't. And I had to Google it to actually find out. So the fact that they're not really going with numbers anymore kind of strikes me as odd. I don't know if it's a marketing decision. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of cool, right? You'd want, like, as a company to be like, hey, this is our biggest show. We've been here. This is our 37th edition, right? 37th time doing this. It'd be cool. I can't remember the last time they went with numbers. I want to say it was 20 even, probably WrestleMania 20 or maybe a bit more. Like, I think it was 25 or 21 that was in LA, and they're like, WrestleMania goes Hollywood, and they didn't really mention WrestleMania 21. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you guys actually remember when the last time was they mentioned a number next to WrestleMania. Gills fan says, not since WrestleMania 30. Vince thinks it makes it sound old. So I was several years off of that. So WrestleMania 30. There you go. CL Vision. Hello, CL Vision. So there are plans work. They want to seem young. I guess so, CL Vision, but I don't understand why they'd want that, right? Nothing wrong to be like, hey, here we are. I know in North America they do it with the Super Bowl, right? I'm not a Super Bowl fan, I'm not an NFL fan or a football fan, but hey, Super Bowl 50 or 60 or 40, I don't even know what numbers they're at. But there you go, right? So again, maybe it's a marketing thing, and maybe, like you guys said, it's a Vince McMahon thing. Andrew, they don't even say that for the Super Bowl now. Really? I could have sworn they did. I really could have sworn they did, like, for the Super Bowl. So it I don't know. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Gil's fan, spot on, Roy. It's something to be proud of, but Vince is crazy. Vince is crazy. Vince is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Hello, CL Vision. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. If it's your first time here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We're here 3 times a week, right? We have our Raw post show on Mondays. I'm here on Fridays to do the SmackDown post show, and we have Wrestleview Weekly on Sundays, right? So we're here 3 times a week, and with WrestleMania season coming up, we might all overdose and be here every single day. Who knows? But make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Taking a look back at this, so Cesaro, going back to Cesaro and Seth. I tweeted out. I said, a solid segment between Seth Rollins, Cesaro, and Corey Graves. The WrestleMania experience, Seth versus Cesaro, who's getting his first one-on-one match at WrestleMania. It looks like that's what they're going to go with. And what I actually enjoyed was that this did not drag on for too long, right? It didn't seem stretched out. It didn't seem heavy. It didn't seem forced. It seemed kind of, natural. It flew naturally, so to speak. And it was just perfect. It was just perfect. Up next, we got our first women's segment of the night, and oh boy, I'm gonna need another sip of this. So, Shayna Baszler versus Natalya, who had Tamina in her corner. Nia Jax and Reginald are on commentary, and I thought this was a botch at one point. I have not gone back to watch it. I have no clue what happened. It was like a 20-second match, literally. Bell rings, right hands by both women, couple of reversals, and then it's as if they both went, for a roll-up. Shayna looks like she got it first. 1-2. Natalya reverses it. 1-2-3. Literally 20-second match. Then Nia and Tamina get involved, and it was just wow. Nia, Tamina get involved. Then you got Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan. Then you got Mandy and Dana. Then you got Lana and Naomi. It was, oh my god, they literally crammed in every single women's tag team in the company in that segment. Literally. The fight after the match, or the brawl after the match, lasted longer than the match itself. Like probably 2-3 times longer than the match itself. And the second we got that in my head, I'm just like, okay, guaranteed we're building up to some crap match, at WrestleMania or on the WrestleMania pre-show. And then later on we found out, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go through. It looks like we're getting it next week, if I'm not mistaken. Was that confirmed? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Maybe I'm just completely forgetting about this, but did they not confirm that we're getting a women's tag team match next week? I'll have to go through this here to see, but maybe they didn't. I could be wrong. Anyways, here's what I thought. So I said, that was painful, but at least it was quick. At least it was quick. And again, my guess is we get some sort of match for the women's tag team champs next week. Taking a look at the chat here. So Grash Uriza. Hello, Grash. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. If you're in the chat for the first time, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. So Grash Uriza says they use Roman numerals for the Super Bowl. Exactly. And they used to for WrestleMania, right? But they haven't done so in, I guess people said, since WrestleMania 30. So it has been 7 years now. It's been a couple of years. Andrew says Vince is obsessed with beating the Super Bowl in attendance numbers, and another cluster for the women's tag belts. Oh, yeah. Gil's fan says, as Doug says, it's a tag team clusterfuck. It is. This has been a mess. And I'm not against the idea of having, the Nia and Shayna on Raw, having them on SmackDown, getting some exposure. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I truly don't. And for the most part, lately they've been booked, decent in a decent way, so to speak. But tonight was just like one tag team after another, and I get that it's WrestleMania season. I get that they're finally on Peacock, but let's say I am a casual wrestling fan, or I'm watching this product for the first time, right? And I know what wrestling is. I know I know what it is. But because of Peacock and I know there's SmackDown on Fridays, I'm tuning in for the first time, right? So if I'm tuning in for the first time and I see these men just getting a bunch of segments and a bunch of matches, right? You get Edge cutting a promo. You get the Alpha Academy, who, yes, there was like 4 tag teams involved, but it was a tag team match. And then if I'm watching this and I see a one-on-ones match in the women's division that lasts 20 seconds or at best a minute, and then I just get these run-ins one after another, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? I would be confused. I would be absolutely confused as to what's going on. I'm not even a casual viewer. I literally, I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, so I won't say I live and breathe wrestling, but I just like you guys, we watch it every single week. I'm watching this. I'm like, how does this make any sense? We haven't seen the Rubit Squad, the Riot Squad in weeks, yet suddenly show up. Naomi, Lana, I haven't seen them in a while, show up. It just and you get from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw. If you're watching this, you have no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on. Taking a look at the chat here. So, Grashurisa, is SmackDown on Peacock Live? It's not. I don't believe it is. No. I think just like Raw, it gets added to Peacock or it gets added to the WWE network, I believe, a month or two. So tonight's episode would eventually be on the network or on Peacock, probably around May, end of May or so. There's usually a delay of like a month or two. I guess it's part of the contract they have with the USA Network and with Fox, but it's not live. It's not live. So Gills fan says not confirmed, but it might be a 5-way number 1 contenders match on night 1 and a title match on night 2. Oh my God! Why? We don't need this. We don't need this. Andrew, if you're a casual fan, you're probably looking for something else to watch. Yeah, most likely. Yes. So that was that. So let's just go back here. So we cut to earlier tonight. So right after that match, we get to earlier tonight where Logan Paul makes it to the stadium or to the Thunderdome with Sami Zayn waiting for him. So, full disclosure, I know we spoke about this for a while last week. And before we get into this, I'm just going to go back to the chat. So, Gills fan says, the Riot Squad, Mandy, Dana have been buried for months, yet they could become champions. That's the logic behind it, buddy. Yeah, apparently. And Grash Isa says, it's about a month now. Okay, there you go. Now, going back to this Logan Paul, Sami Zayn segment, and we spoke about this last week, and I asked you guys, I barely knew who Logan Paul was, right? Go back in the archives, it's on YouTube, you'll hear me say it. I'm not sure who Logan Paul is. And I get why they have him. I truly do. I saw the numbers, 23 million followers, and then he has on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. He essentially has a shit ton of followers, right? And I get why they have him on here. I understand. The same reason I understand why they have Bad Bunny over on Raw. So I'm not complaining, and this is not me complaining at all, and I won't be complaining. So full disclosure, I went into this thinking I was going to hate it. I really thought this is going to be horrible. To my surprise, I did not hate it. Did I like it? If I'm in a very good mood, I'll say I liked it, or part of me enjoyed it. But I didn't hate it. And I could kind of tell, or maybe you could kind of tell as well that, Logan was, he was trying. You knew he had lines that he had to say, right? It was very obvious. He had the lines he had to stick to and all that stuff. And you could tell the effort was there. He was trying. So kudos to him. He didn't look like he did not give a shit, so to speak. He looked as if he cared, right? He cared enough to put on a good show. Even though he essentially only said 2 or 3 words. So that's that. So when we get to the start of the segment, you got Sami Zayn that comes out wearing a suit, and I don't know if it was the suit, but Sami Zayn was, how could I put this? He was sweating bullets. Like, this was Brock Lesnar level of sweat on his face, and you could see it. He was talking, it was just sweat everywhere, like as if he had ran a marathon, and he would look at one point just like he was dying. And anyways, I don't know if it was nerves or whatever it was. Probably a lot of pressure on him, knowing, you know, Logan Paul, and obviously Vince doesn't want him to mess up and all that stuff. So I get it. But anyways, he calls out Logan Paul. Logan Paul says, you know, it's great to be here, great to be in a WWE ring for the first time, good to be in the Thunderdome, right? Basic stuff. And then we get to the trailer. And the trailer was, I'll say, enjoyable. It was funny. It was what it was, right? You get random segments of Sami Zayn saying, you saw that? Did you see that? And him talking to Adam Pearce, and him talking to Kevin Owens, and him with the referees and the camera crew. So it was cool. It was a fun, it was an enjoyable little trailer, right? It was an enjoyable little trailer. So then he asks Logan Paul, you know, what did you think? What did you think of of the trailer? And you could tell Logan Paul didn't really like it. You could clearly tell he did not like it. And Logan says, you know, it's a lot to take in. It's compelling. But when I was in the locker room, Kevin Owens approached me, and, you know, he told me that he's known you for 15 years, and there's no conspiracy. And then Sami gets agitated. Sami really gets frustrated, and to the point where he actually apologizes to Logan Paul, tells him, oh, I'm sorry, look, I'm just on edge, I know I'm on edge, so I'm sorry about that, and this and that. And he's like, I don't care what Kevin Owens thinks, I care what you think, I want your opinion. And then literally Logan Paul says, look, I can see you put a lot of effort in. And then as he says that, Kevin Owens comes out from behind, sneaks up on Sami Zayn, hits him with the stunner, and tells him this will continue to happen. As long as you continue with this conspiracy theory stuff and this and that. And as he's walking away, you know, he kind of shoves or pushes Logan Paul away. And something I forgot to mention actually that happened was Sami invited Logan Paul to be at WrestleMania, and Logan Paul accepted. So at WrestleMania, Logan Paul will be there in Sami Zayn's corner. So he's going to be there. We're getting Logan Paul once more. So WWE got Logan Paul and Bad Bunny for WrestleMania. Two fairly big names, right? Good for them. Let's see if it actually, quote unquote, you know, puts some butts in the seats. Who knows? We'll see. And then we cut back. So back to the segment. That's that, right? Lasted about 10 minutes or so. Fun segment. Again, we're getting Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, this time at WrestleMania. We're getting it again, right? Like we said last week, it's kind of their safety net. It's their safety blanket. It's their safety blanket. So let's look at the chat, see what you guys think. Andrew says, you know, that will put some butts in the seats. Grash Urisa says, fuck my life, Logan Paul. And Andrew says, Logan Paul looked lost. So Grash... I mean, that was my train of thought last week when it was known that he was going to be there this week. And Andrew, Logan looked lost. I don't know if he looked lost as much as he didn't want to mess up. I don't think he wanted to mess up, right? Gills fan says, the trailer was great. I'm going to be disappointed if Owens doesn't show up at WrestleMania dressed as a zebra now. He cared more than most of the Raw guest hosts, at least. Exactly, Gills fan. And again, I'm not a Logan Paul fan. It's the first time I actually really see him and hear him speak. But it looked like he cared. He didn't want to mess up, right? And Brock versus Shane versus Lashley versus Zayn to find out who sweats the most. Yeah, they actually sweat. Shane, I don't understand. This guy wears a t-shirt and he's sweating. And Gills fan says, Logan to cost Zayn is my prediction. I could see that happening. And we will do our WrestleMania predictions next week. So on the Wrestleview SmackDown Post Show next week, we will have our WrestleMania predictions. So make sure to join us to see what we're going to get right, what we're going to get wrong as we give our predictions. So This is what tweeted out. So that segment involving Logan Paul and Sami Zayn went better than I thought it would. Logan didn't talk much. It was all Sami talking. The trailer was funny for what it was. In short, I actually did not hate it. Really didn't. And as mentioned, Logan Paul will be in Sami's corner versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. We get a commercial break. Back from commercial, Elise is backstage with Kevin Owens. He tells her he disliked hitting Sami with the stunner, but he was trying to send him a message. And that message is that, to anyone in the WWE, or that he can stun anyone. And then Sami attacks Kevin from behind. Then we cut to another backstage promo, to another women's segment. So Kayla's backstage with Bianca, and she asks her about, tonight's match against Carmilla. And we haven't seen Carmilla in what seems like forever at this point on SmackDown. So she asks her, where's your head at right now? Where are you focused? And Bianca says, she was wondering when she would finally get to see the real Sasha Banks after she slapped the soul out of her. The legit boss finally showed up, and that's who she wanted, and that's who she wants, because that way when she beats her at WrestleMania, well, Sasha won't have any excuses and ask for it tonight, while she's going to go through Carmilla to make history at WrestleMania. Which leads us to Carmilla versus Bianca Bel-Air. And this one, I didn't hate it. It was good for what it was. It helped build up Bianca. Carmilla dominated for most of the match, to be fair. So Carmilla did dominate for most of the match. Bianca just got a couple of offense in, and essentially she just hit her with the KOD, the Kiss of Death. Hit her with that 1, 2, 3, gets the pin, gets the win. And then right after the win, Sasha Banks, SmackDown Women's Champion, comes from behind, and she's about to attack Bianca. Bianca sees her, blocks her, and tells her, no, not tonight, not tonight. And then Sasha Banks just walks away, right? Just leaves the ring and walks away. And if you're joining us for the first time, I'm not the biggest Sasha Banks fan. So the fact that she was not on television for long tonight makes me a happy camper, if I'm being honest. Look, the match itself was good for what it was. My only complaint was Carmella wasn't on television for long. For a couple of weeks. She gets some offense in tonight. She loses. And I don't have a problem with Carmella losing. I truly don't. But my problem with this is, let's assume, and let's hope, but let's assume that Bianca gets the win against Sasha at WrestleMania. Who is she going to feud with? She already feuded with Bayley, right? A couple of months back. And she beat her. You can't really have her feud with Carmella because she just beat Carmella right now. Who else is there on the women's division that you can have her feud with? Are you going to break up Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and have her feud with one of them? What are you going to do? That's kind of my problem with this one here. Not so much the fact that she beat Carmella, but the fact that they could have done something else in case, because they have nothing to fall back on right now. They really have nothing. If Bianca wins at WrestleMania, and again, I hope she does, who is she going to feud with? That's going to be a problem. That will be a problem. Going to the chat. So Andrew mentioned something which I actually found funny. He says, Graves going wild over Mella is so funny. So it was pretty humorous. So as Carmella was coming out, Corey Graves just lost it. He just kept saying, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. And he channeled his inner Jerry Lawler type of thing with the puppies that he used to say. It was just... but he did it in his own way, right? He did it in his own way. Gills fan says, Sasha walking away, that segment gets 100 thumbs up. I loved it. And I was so afraid. I really was. Right before the commercial break, when this match first started, right before the commercial break, I was afraid we'd get Sasha Banks coming out and have another Sasha Banks on commentary moment, which thankfully, luckily, was not the case. At least. So Sasha Banks, very short-lived tonight. Which made for a good segment at one point. And Andrew says, can Sasha walk completely off into the sunset after Mania? I would not be opposed. To that, Andrew. And Andrew says, that's why we need to unify a lot of the belts. I agree. It just, the tag team belts on the men's side have to be unified. They have to be. I don't even know who are the tag team champions on Raw. I cannot even remember. It's that bad. It's that bad. And Gills fan says Graves used to go mad when Mandy made her entrance. Yes, I remember that when essentially that was last year, right? That was last year. Mandy Rose with Otis, and he'd go crazy over it. So, Twitter thoughts. Here we go. Carmilla looked strong out there up until the end. She was in control of the entire match, and one kiss of death knocks her out. I'm not complaining, but it could have been done better. And Bianca looked good too as her build continues. Also, barely any Sasha Banks, which was great. Right, which was great. And one thing I do want to emphasize on, and I know we spoke about this in the past, was the burnout, right? Because the Rumble now was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, back in January, and our big fear was, are we gonna get Bianca just overexposed? And I think for the most part they've done a pretty good job with her. If I'm being honest, I think they've done a pretty good job with Bianca. It wasn't like a Becky Lynch thing from a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, where she won the Rumble and she had so much hype, so much momentum, so much steam that by the time February rolled around, it was dead. They've done, I think, a better job with controlling Bianca Belair's momentum going into WrestleMania, and this could only help her. There's no way this hurts her. They've done a very, very good job with this. A fantastic job. My hat's off to them because they easily could have screwed this up. They really, really could have screwed this up. Now, after that, we get a commercial break and we get King Corbin. And then we get Apollo Crews and then we get Edge. So, beginning with Corbin, Corbin says, he's tired of the disrespect he keeps getting on SmackDown. So when he heard that Lashley made the offer on Raw, well, he took a look at his $45,000 Patek Philippe timepiece, took a look at his watch, and that's when he decided, well, I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I'm going to take out Drew McIntyre and beat Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania to finally get the respect that he deserves, and everyone will bow down to the king. So I don't know if this means that Corbin's staying on SmackDown. Is he just going on Raw? This is kind of lost. He's kind of lost in the shuffle right now, and they just don't know what to do with him. Period. That's truly what it looks like. And this leads us to another segment. This one with Apollo Crews. So Apollo Crews is backstage. By the way, let me know what you guys thought of the King Corbin segment. I'll take a look at it in the chat in a couple of moments. So we get Apollo Crews backstage and he's cutting a promo. So we don't get Big E tonight. No Big E, which is fine, not a problem. We do get Apollo Crews who cuts a promo again. The accent is still there. And, he says this time at WrestleMania, they do it the right way in a Nigerian drum fight. He says he challenges Big E to a Nigerian drum fight at WrestleMania. That way all of his family and his ancestors will drum around as his bones... I must go back and edit this. As he breaks Big E's bones and he becomes the Intercontinental Champion. Can anyone explain to me what a Nigerian drum fight is? Can anyone explain to me what a drum fight is? Anyone? Please. Because this is the type of stuff that if I'm a casual viewer and I hear about a Nigerian drum fight, I'm thinking, what the heck is this? Again, we watch this show every week. I was, and still kind of am, invested in this Apollo Crews and Big E feud. Don't get me wrong, I still am. But the fact that this is a Nigerian drum fight doesn't make me more invested. It just makes me, take a step back and think, what the hell is this? What's a Nigerian drum fight? I'm very, very curious to see or to hear what it is. And we're essentially, like I said, we're a week away from WrestleMania, so they have to hype this up through their Twitter, through YouTube, through their social media, through Talking Smack, through whatever it is. Because this needs some explanation. And going back to this, so Gills fan says Corbin always does his job with his heel promos. Yeah, I thought it was a good promo, and he's done for the most part. He's a much better heel than he is face, right? So he does do that very well. Andrew, is this from Black Panther? I'm being honest. I'm not even trying to make a joke. I can't remember. I don't know. I really don't. Gills fan, perhaps it's like a dance-off, but you have to play the drums instead. Knowing Vince, I could see this happening. alright guys, we're gonna get a Nigerian drum fight. And you're both gonna dance in the ring. Yeah, sorry, that's a horrible Vince McMahon impression, but you get it. It's makes no sense. This truly makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And whoever came up with this, yikes. Anyways, we are at the main event. We finally get to the main event, which is a street fight between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso. Main event Jey, main event Uso versus Daniel Bryan. This was a physical match. This was a very, very physical match. Bryan took some bumps. The steel steps, the barricade, the chair in between the ropes. He's on overdrive. He's really working overtime lately. And again, this was fun. One thing I mentioned earlier, and I said, I want to get into it later on, is Edge and Edge on commentary, because I thought Edge was stellar on commentary. And when I say stellar, I'll tell you guys why. He was able to hype up Jey Uso so much, so well, that if you're watching and if you're listening, you're thinking, holy shit, like Jey actually has a chance right here. He has a chance of winning, right? Because you have Edge, WWE Hall of Famer, 10 or 11-time world champion, on commentary, right? The ultimate opportunist, rated R superstar, whatever it is. And he's hyping up Jey Uso like, wow. He did such a good job. And Jey was able to back it up in the ring. He truly was. He was able to back it up in the ring. He took some good bumps. He could... There's a lot of give and take there in the ring between him and Daniel Bryan, and they both took some bumps. They both delivered in the main event tonight. Honestly, my hat's off to them. I thought it was a very, very good main event. And I'm just taking a look at the chat. So we have. I'm sorry if I completely demolished the way I pronounce this, but we have Geocatcher Ken. Geocatcher Ken says they toss chicken drumsticks at each other. So this is regarding Big E and Apollo Cruz. This is bad. Like I don't even know what they were thinking about this in a Nigerian drum fight. I don't know. Geocatcher Ken. But welcome to the chat, Geocatcher Ken. If first time here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, buddy. Andrew, Edge has a future as a commentator if you want it in the future. He does. And Andrew also says aggressive Daniel was great. It was so fun. The commentary was good. The match itself was very good. You have Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman that come out. Heyman has has this chair set up for Roman to sit down on during the match. So it was just, it was very entertaining. It was a very, very entertaining match. In the end, Daniel Bryan gets the win. So we get a steel chair involved. We get a steel chain involved. Bryan gets the yes lock on Jey as Jey taps out. And then after that, Daniel rolls out of the ring and he hits Edge with a flying knee, throws him into the ring post several times, makes his way up the stage, knocks Roman out, hits him with the yes lock as SmackDown kind of goes off the air. And from beginning to end, this was good. And I'm going to talk about Jey Uso for a couple of moments here. Because even during the match, when they were fighting on the outside, and Edge is on commentary, and Edge says, "I fear no one. I'm the rated R superstar," and you could see, Jay's there and he's listening, and then he looks at Edge, he's like, "You should fear, Us, you should." And it was so good. They played off each other really well. And Edge at one point, telling him, "Don't look at me, don't look at me," and then he looks at Bryan, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." You could tell the tension was there, and it was so well made. And I tweeted this out. I did here. I wrote, "Just a physical main event. A shame that Jey Uso won't be at WrestleMania. He's really been main event Jey for several months. He truly has. And the fact that Jey Uso doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. I know he'll probably be, in Roman's corner, and we'll see him at WrestleMania. But the fact that he doesn't have a match at WrestleMania, at some point you kind of got to feel sorry for him. You really have to, because he's done really, really well since." 6-7 months ago now, for about half a year. Bryan gets the win, and he's just the ultimate babyface, right? You have Roman Roman rooting against him. You have Edge on commentary just blasting him every chance he gets, and he's in the ring with Jay getting his ass kicked. Ultimate babyface, and both men looked great out there. They really did. I know, Bryan won, and it was a street fight, so obviously won, fair and square. But if you're looking at this, Jey Uso came out of this looking strong, which again hurts the fact that he doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. They really could have done something. They really, really could have done something there, but they didn't. They didn't. Who knows what they're gonna do with him? Who knows what they're gonna do with him? Gills fan says, he's in the Battle Royal, unfortunately. Look, have Jay win the Battle Royal. Have him win the Battle Royal. Have him run with it. How he, won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. How he should have been at WrestleMania. How something, anything. Because he definitely deserves it. Geocatcher Ken says, I think Jay is in the Battle Royal. Yeah, so he could have been. Yeah, I think he is as well. Just like Gills fan mentioned as well. But if we're being honest, Jay should be at WrestleMania itself, right? Not on the WrestleMania SmackDown special, if we're being honest, right? If we're being fair, he really should be on the show itself. So what did you guys think about that match? Let me know. I honestly thought it was a very, very good match. I'm not going to give it a star rating. I'm not the type to give matches star ratings. That's for someone else. I don't do that stuff. But it was a good match. Taking a look, I thought it was a very enjoyable show, except for maybe that segment involving every single women's team in the freaking company. I thought it was good. Logan Paul actually tried out there. We got a good Seth Rollins and Cesaro promo, a very fun main event. And as opposed to Raw, we actually got some proper build-up to WrestleMania this week. We're a week away, and we got some good matches, some good promos, and proper build-up to WrestleMania. So let's take a look. I gave this show a thumbs up. Let's take a look at what you guys think here. What did everyone think? 75.8% of the votes, thumbs up. Honestly, I can't see how you could really hate on this one tonight. I truly can't. I feel like everything was well paced. Everything was well timed. There was nothing that felt like it dragged on. Even the main event at one point started with 20 minutes left on the show. I'm like, oh wow, they're really going the full 20 minutes. But it flew by. These 2 hours tonight on SmackDown absolutely flew by. It really did. And in a good way, right? Obviously. In a very, very good way. I thought it was very enjoyable. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to take a look at the chat. What do you guys think here? Gills fan says, I agreed regarding Jey Uso. He's the best choice to win. Andrew says, would be interesting if it led to another feud with Roman in the future. The only way I could kind of see this, Andrew, if we get another Roman Jay feud, would be if Jay somehow costs Roman the match at WrestleMania. Similar to what they did with the Hurt Business, kind of, on Raw, which I think is stupid, breaking them up. But, I think that's one way. Would I be down for another Roman Jay feud? Probably not right now. But if done right, who knows, right? If done right, it could be good. Gillspan says a thumbs up to the show. Andrew Elder says the show thumbs up because honestly it's 2 hours to begin with. Also, this show is always thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, absolutely. I cannot remember honestly the last time I gave SmackDown a thumbs down. I truly can't. It's a fun show. It's an easy show to watch. We don't get, and again, I'm not trying to hate on Raw, right? But it's not like Raw where it's 3 hours and they'll repeat, like they'll play the replay of the opening segment like 10 times throughout the show just to kill some time. This is really like, it's fast paced. There's always something, one segment after another, one match after another. And the talent is there, right? You have a good talent pool on SmackDown. So everything just kind of works. So I thought it was a thumbs up. Gills fan says it's a thumbs up. Andrew, a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Next week, again, is our go-home show. It's our WrestleMania SmackDown special. It's our 10th show, guys. It's SmackDown Post Show number 10. We'll try and get something special going for that one as we head into WrestleMania weekend. Or WrestleMania week, sorry. WrestleMania week. We're now entering WrestleMania week, which is absolutely crazy. Andrew says, my thoughts would be a slow burn because of winning the Battle Royal, but not right now. But not right off between Roman and Jay. Yeah, okay. I could see that. Maybe not right away. Maybe not right away, but afterwards. So on next week's show, confirmed, right? We have the SmackDown Tag Team titles being defended, and we have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal as well. So those are two, I'll say, relatively big matches announced for next week's show. It's the night right before night one of WrestleMania. We're gonna be here. We're gonna give our WrestleMania predictions. You guys are gonna give your WrestleMania predictions. We'll try and make it interesting, just like we did for Fastlane. It's always fun. Gilsman says, thankfully we are past the time where SmackDown was just a recap of the 3-hour Raw. Yeah, at one point it was just bad. It was just like, hey, here's what happened on Raw, here's what happened on Raw, and there's kind of back and forth. But it's been good lately. It's been good. So once more, I say this every week, and I truly mean it. Thank you guys for joining me. Everyone in the chat, even if you're here for 1 second, give us a thumbs up, right? If you participated throughout a comment, thank you. Honestly, thank you. I'm a wrestling fan like you guys. I love recapping SmackDown. Very much enjoy the show. I love doing this show. I truly do. And it's like, 2 hours SmackDown. That's good. I like it. Then I get excited. I'm like, nice. I get to talk to you guys. We get to interact. We got the SmackDown Post Show. Let's see what's going on. So honestly, thank you guys for joining me. Geocatcher Ken says, that's what main event is now. So main event is just a Raw recap. Essentially, it's a show. I haven't watched that in probably the last time I watched main event was when I attended Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember. And they taped the show before that. So thank you guys for joining me. It's always a blast. I always have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We're entering a huge week. It's WrestleMania week. We have Raw on Monday. Wednesday, Thursday, we got NXT TakeOver. Friday, we got SmackDown. Saturday, Sunday is the big show, right? It's WrestleMania. Gills fan, great show as usual. Roy, see you guys next time. Thank you, Gills fan. Thank you, buddy. Honestly, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining us. That's it, guys. My name is Roy Nemer from Wrestleview.com. I'm your Wrestleview.com SmackDown recapper. We have a big week ahead of us. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching us live, thank you. If you're watching us on repeat on YouTube, thank you. Leave us a comment, right? What do you guys think of the show? Any suggestions? Anything like that? Quentin says, like and subscribe or else. So, Quentin, here we go. Like and subscribe or else I will sit here and watch 3 Sasha Banks main events. There you go. So if you guys have any ounce of, how can I put this? If you guys feel sorry for me and you don't want me to sit through 3 Sasha Banks main events, please like and subscribe, guys. CL Vision, peace out. Have a good one, buddy. Geocatcher, good show. First time checking it out. Hey, thank you, Geocatcher Ken. Thank you for joining us, man. Hope to see you again next week. Again, we're having our WrestleMania predictions. So once more, my name is Roy Nemer. I'm your Wrestleview.com SmackDown recapper. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, have a good one. Be safe. Take care and enjoy, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, guys. Quentin, excellent show. 4 thumbs up. Thank you, buddy. It's all thanks to you guys. Have a good one. Bye, guys.